Big Game James Allen is with us from the Times Union. Good morning, Big Game.
And the Suburban's wide open, Roger.
Oh, killing me. Suburban's wide open. It's anybody's game. Oh, my goodness. All right, so let's talk about the Suburban, and you made all your predictions. You're going to have a lot of haters, but I guess you probably won't have too many in Colony because you are predicting Colony to win the Suburban Council, or the Class AA out of the Suburban Council.
Right.
And why is that?
Hey, look, there's a lot of teams out there that have some some teams in the AA that's got some really good wins. I mean, you go down to 11, 10 seeds, and CBA lost to Schenectady, by one point. They're playing them again, in the opening round. They're dangerous, and my Colonies. You look at what they've done since they lost to Albany Academy. They've won every game since. They've won every game in 2017, and they've had a couple of close ones, but they've emerged. They've shown that they were the team that everybody thought they were going into the season, and they've been just a better version of themselves since the 2017 portion of the schedule kicked in.
So your pick is Colony. They will play and we really dive into it full force tonight with first-round games. They'll play the winner of Shaker and Green Tech, and that is an interesting matchup tonight, right? That certainly could go either way. No doubt. It's very much a little bit of a contrast in styles. So that you look at Shaker, and their two big guys are their leading scorers in Sloan Seymour and Jay Cook, and then you look at Green Tech, and it's pretty balanced throughout their lineup. But they like to be able to press teams, and they use their guards, and their guards are going to be key in that game. So it's going to be the play probably inside with Cook and Seymour shooting some threes against what Green Tech can do defensively, and hopefully for their standpoint, if they want to win, they're going to have to be able to cause some problems on the defensive end, and if they can do that, Green Tech certainly could win on the road, but Shaker's got the home game as the 8th seed.
Big Game, take Isaiah Mole and Colony out of the conversation for a second. Who, in your mind's eye, is the next top dog in the Suburban that can put his team on his back and go win a championship?
Well, I don't know. If you're talking about teams, I would say there would be a different conversation. If you're talking about a player that could dominate and maybe, lift his team, I'd probably have to say Anderson right now. Adam Anderson from Saratoga, just because of what they've been able to do. They had that late win against Shen, and his ability, defensively, and certainly as a rebounder. I mean, a guard averaging over 10 rebounds a game is certainly a big asset, and Saratoga is certainly a team that can put a scare into anybody, and they're a 4 seed. They'll have to get through their portion of things if they want to eventually get to a semifinal potentially against Colony. But he's certainly a guy that's had some huge efforts this year, and he's a guy that I think could will a team to something pretty big.
And you wrote about Bethlehem this morning. That's another team, and I watched the entire start to finish Bethlehem Colony game a couple of weeks ago, and Colony end up winning that game, but Bethlehem had the lead in the second half. They're well coached. They run good stuff. They've got good players. Hayden Thompson, the Ortali kid. I mean, they have some talent, well coached, and I really like what I saw from Bethlehem.
Yeah, they're really, I think what makes the Eagles so interesting and so dangerous is it's really the sum of their parts, Roger. I mean, they're not going to blow anybody away with incredible, athleticism or anything like that. I mean, Ryan Murray's, 6'1" power forward. That gives him a lot of height, but he does a lot of dirty work inside. And Thompson's, averaging a double-double. You look around, Ortali's a great outside shooter. I mean, Riker's a real good point guard, and they just do a lot of good things, and they don't beat themselves. And Colony and them have had an interesting little rivalry over the last 2 years, because last year Bethlehem started 1-8, and they actually beat Colony at the end of the regular season, and then they played them in the playoffs and had a really strong performance in a game that they wound up losing, and then they split 2 games this year with the same score, 61-58. Colony winning the first, or Bethlehem winning the first one, and Colony winning the second, meaning the more recent one. But they're a dangerous team, and certainly people, I think for the most part, maybe not so much early in this, or later in the season, but early in the season, I think some teams, sort of overlook them, and they paid the price for it, and Bethlehem certainly earned the number 3 seed.
How about tonight, CBA at Schenectady? Schenectady got off to a great start, playing really, really well most of the season. They have tailed off, I think, fair to say, a little bit. And then you got CBA that, by their standards, very mediocre to down season under Dave Domel, but a lot of close losses. And I think the last time these two teams played, Schenectady just a couple of weeks ago, won by 1 point. So this could be interesting tonight. CBA on the road at Schenectady in a first-round game.
Yeah, the brothers certainly played a lot better in the second half of the year. As you said, Roger, they had some close losses. They lost to Troy by 1. They lost to Schenectady by 1. They were in some other games that against some really strong teams where early in the season they were getting toasted pretty readily by a lot of teams. And, CBA lost a lot of their players. I mean, Mike Wynn's down in North Carolina now. Sloan Seymour went back to Shaker. Zaire Beverly left and is now the leading scorer for Bishop Gibbons. So they lost a lot of talent that wasn't even graduated talent from their roster last year. And it took them a while to kind of find their way. But, Schenectady overlooks the brothers. They definitely could be had. But I think you have to look at the Patriots. And one thing about that, Rod, that first game is it's 1 point, but it wasn't a 1 point loss that happened in December. It's a 1 point loss that happened recently. So I think from Schenectady's perspective, CBA's gotten their attention, and they know that certainly what they're capable of, and they've got a more recent memories to go with. So I don't think that CBA is going to sneak up on Schenectady. It doesn't mean they can't beat them, but I think they'll definitely have the Patriots' attention tonight.
Yeah, and we talked to Eric Loudis yesterday, had him front and center on News Channel 13 live at 6, 10, and 11. Our big game quickly here with time running out. I know you're picking Colony to win the double A's. Quickly, the A's, B's, and C's and D's. Just real quick, bing, bing, bing on by the way.
Carefully, big game.
By the way, that's Trump stole that from me.
What's that?
Bing, bing.
Oh, bing, bing.
Yeah, he says that a lot. And so do I.
I was going to say, we've been saying that for years.
Well, seriously, he stole that from us, just so you know. Just bing, bing, it's an FYI.
Bing.
All right. In bing, bing fashion, here, big game, can you wrap things up with the rest of it, even though we pay most attention, at least on this radio program, to the Class AA's. Fire away.
Well, in the A's, Roger, Troy is the defending champion. Obviously, they're up in the AA this year. So I picked the team that they played in the final last year, and that's Lansingburg. I certainly think that the other top 3 seeds in Scotia, Averill Park, and Amsterdam are capable, but I'm going to go with Berg to win that one. The B's is, again, this is another classification that's so loaded. A lot of really good teams, and there's so many teams I think are capable, and I'm a guy that normally doesn't like to pick a lot of number 1 seeds. I try to mix things up, but when it came back to it, I said, if I'm going to pick somebody, I'm going to go with the guy I think is the best player in the classification, and that's Joseph Girard. So I picked Glens Falls to win a very loaded Class B. The Class C is the one I really went off the board. I picked a number 5 seed to win it, and that's Schoharie. They lead the section in three-pointers with a 202. They don't have very much a guard-oriented team, and sometimes that doesn't equate an outside shooting team when you get to the Glens Falls portion of the sectionals, if they can get to that far. But again, on a very deep classification, I think they're going to have trouble getting past the defending champions in the opening round. They're playing Spa Catholic. That's going to be a very interesting game. And then in the D's, I think, as much as I think Argyle is very capable, and they won it last year with Kobe Lufkin, and they pulled a big upset against Fort Ann last year. I picked the Cardinals. Fort Ann to win the sectional this year. Too much seniors, too many guys that are motivated, and they had a painful loss last year as a bunch of juniors, and now most of them are seniors, and I think they're going to take the title and get back to the state playoffs in a different sport. As a lot of the same guys that won the state championship in soccer a year ago.
Well, we won't hold you to those predictions, but there are many people out there who will.
Of course, I'm going to hear about it. I mean, there'll be people that will look at these 2017 predictions, and I'll run into somebody in 15 years, and they'll be like, "Hey, you picked against us in 2017." So,
bulletin board material. That's what it's called right there. You provide some teams with bulletin board material. Big game.
Of course. There's the last 2 days. There's 5 teams in each in the boys and the girls that think I'm really smart and I know what I'm talking about, and then the rest of them he's an idiot. He doesn't have any idea. He hasn't been paying attention. He doesn't know about us, and I can't believe he picked us, this team over us. So,
we just think you're big game.
It goes to the territory.
Yep, it does, and it's fun stuff. It should be fun. This time of year is always fun. Section 2 high school basketball playoffs. Look, when we get to Friday, we'll be through some of these games, and we'll know the matchups of what will be a really big Saturday over at Hudson Valley Community College, and we'll know who the favorite Colony will be playing against, either Shaker or Green Tech, the winner of tonight's game. Big game, James. Always a pleasure. We'll talk to you in your normal spot on the Friday show.
Good, Roger.